Hello, that's him. He's on his way, that man of the economy. The man of bones and bike here now. The bones in good shape. The bike helps keep the bones. The doctor has told me to take up cycling. I've got mild degenerative arthritis in my knee.
Really?
It's resolved now.
Excellent.
But
good,
I cherish the word mild, which is very, very jolly and very good.
Yeah.
And but I mean, we're looking at the walking gait at the moment. I've, the ankles and all the rest of it. But there are people we were talking about who walk slightly forward on their feet, and they're not getting a complete distribution of the weight, and that causes problems too.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's important. It's important to make sure that your feet are working normally. I was thinking of people taking up running with who have flat feet.
Yeah.
The flat feet being what we call overpronated feet, and so the feet roll in when you land. When your foot hits the ground, your foot rolls in slightly.
Oh yeah.
Because it becomes more pliable, more flexible. But then as you're pushing off your foot rolls out to the outside where it becomes stiffer.
Yes.
So that you can push off.
Yes.
And get a good solid bit of force behind it. Overpronation, there's very little force being pushed. So your muscles have to work too hard. If you imagine a rowing race where you and I evenly matched, but your oars are made of rubber and mine are made of wood. Yeah. Then you'd have to work an awful lot harder to keep up. Do you understand?
Yes, I hear what you're saying. It's about good practice, because what we're not actually commonly acknowledging is that what starts in the feet is conducted through the body, and the body is the skeleton.
It is.
And in many, many ways, the whole malaise starts with the feet. And how we walk.
It does. I think we can't blame every back problem on your feet. That wouldn't be right at all. But some back problems, a lot of knee problems will start with the feet. So I think that if people start running, they decide to start running. First of all, they should spend a long time walking.
Yes.
Building up. Just as your doctor has asked you to cycle more, it's because that very high repetition, low load helps to build the joint cartilage at the end.
Yes.
At the end of your bones where they meet.
So this is a good idea then.
So high repetition and low load is one of my favorite kind of mantras.
High repetition, low load.
Because you do something easily, and cycling, really each turn of the pedal should be relatively easy. And then you just build it up slowly until those joint cartilages thicken up.
And they can thicken up.
They can thicken up, yes. The whole body, adapts to what you want it to do. So if you, for example, lift weights, the bones in those joints that lift weights, then those will become stronger, and visibly so on X-ray. There's a really interesting story I heard of a bull rider in the sort of rodeos in Texas, and he was brought in. He broke his wrist, and they brought him in, and when they X-rayed him, they found that his ulna, this bone here, was massively hypertrophied, was massively bigger than it should be.
Wow! And
they thought that's weird, and then they looked at his left arm, and it was normal.
Yeah.
And then they brought in one of his mates, and they just said, "Listen, can we X-ray your forearm?"
Yeah.
And his mate was also a bull rider, exactly the same thing.
The way they're holding.
It's the way, yes. I can't remember which hand it is. Maybe it's the left hand.
Yeah.
That was the powerful one. But all the force being taken up through the forearm of this bull bouncing up and down made their bones much stronger.
So we are a regenerative people.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is encouraging.
But it does take time. So I think that if you're going to start running, go somewhere. Some of these high-end running shops,
Proper shoes.
they maybe have a look at you. Physios certainly will look at you. Chiropodists too.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're running well.
Yeah, because if you're not, you're building up problems.
Because if you're just making yourself a problem.
Yeah.
And
you see, I would prefer running to cycling, I have to say, but I don't run.
Yes.
I could cycle more easily than I could run.
Yes.
But the difficulty is with, before I would even attempt to run again,
yeah.
get down to the proper fighting weight, get the weight organised first,
Yes.
so that I'm not carrying around stuff that's too much.
Yes.
And then get into it.
But I would say that, you know, with your history of mild arthritis, that if for you to start running would be folly.
Folly, yeah.
I think it would.
Hill walking?
Hill walking, fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I worked
a little bit of cycling, and it doesn't mean you have to dress in lycra, although I'm sure the ladies of Warren Point would be lining the roads to watch you.
My dear fellow, they're only human.
They are indeed. They are.
One doesn't fault them in any sense.
But you could ride around the local parks and...
Yes. And they would go after me. Yoo-hoo!
Yes, absolutely.
Have you been busy, yeah?
Yes, reasonably so.
Yeah,
yes, it's been nice.
A constancy of ailment.
Yes,
that would be it.
yes.
Yeah, it would be a thing.
Wonderful, but it's always interesting. Always interesting.
And you do
Indeed.
bring relief to people. I'm the walking testament of that. Really does work. But then you have to be careful. You have to do the right thing.
Yes.
I have to play my part. You've done your part.
Yes, absolutely. We have to be sensible. We have to keep the faith and keep doing the exercises that your physio's given you.
And then I'm actually preparing for a healthy 80s when I become 80.
Good for you.
I'm now 70. So the mantra is, keep right on to the end of the road. Keep right on to the end. Though you're happy, weary, and I don't know the words of it.
Absolutely, I don't either.
You don't?
No, I don't.
You're
I
worse than I am.
refuse to join in.
I'm going to say cheerio. You ever shake hands with somebody and you go like that, and then say, oh, don't. You know, they all get worried about shaking hands.
Yeah.
Why do we shake hands? Is it a way of ensuring that I'm not armed with a knife?
I think so.
That
I think
you're
so.
safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the same way that men's clothes fold left over right.
Why?
So you can reach in for your...
You can reach in for your pistol.
For your sword or your
sword.
Whatever, yes.
That's why you walk the lady on the inside of the path.
Is that right?
I believe so that you can draw your sword. Or else put your coat down for her, you see. You do this sort of thing regularly. Go well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Music, sir, and coming shortly, the paranormal and all sorts of interesting things.